Okay, being live streamed, so I got it. So we can begin, Kevin?
Yes.
Okay. Calling the meeting of the Lakeville Cable TV Advisory Committee to order, and I have to read some verbiage first. In accordance with the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law, Chapter 30A, subsection 20, relating to the 2020 novel coronavirus outbreak emergency. The April 21st, 2021 public meeting of the Cable Advisory Committee shall be physically closed to the public to avoid group congregation. However, to view this meeting in progress, please go to facebook.com/LakeCAM. You do not need a Facebook account to view the meeting. This meeting will be recorded and available to be viewed at a later date at http://www.lakecam.tv/. Okay, that being done. Hi, everybody. My name is Bob Marshall, the chair of the Cable TV Advisory Committee. And we're here today to talk with our attorney about a number of things. And by the way, gentlemen, just to move things along a little bit easier, I'd like to suggest that we skip the first two items on the agenda for now, and we'll get back to it after Bill is done talking with us. Okay?
Yeah, sounds great.
Very good. Okay, Bill, you and I had a discussion back, I guess, a couple of weeks ago now about a thought you had about how we might run these negotiations with Verizon more smoothly than our last round with Comcast. And what are your thoughts?
Okay. Well, this is based on recent experience with doing in the last 12 months or six, the Holliston Verizon renewal, Holbrook, Tewksbury, Bedford about a year and a half ago.
Okay, what's your point, Bill?
I'm finishing up like about 2 or 3. My point is that the best methodology that worked for us to try to cut to the chase is ask them for the draft.
That's coming May 6th.
What?
It's coming May 6th.
You see, I would tell them to hold off until we talk to them about what we want in the draft. And this is what I would say to them. And this is what I said in the other towns, and they complied. And it was very amicable and cooperative. I said to them, guys, because it was with John Harrington and Paul Train, doing like 95%. It looks like Niall's getting Pam Goldstein in the act. I haven't done one with her in a few years, but she's good. I said, listen, it's just going to waste everyone's time if you just give us the draft without us telling you a couple of things to put in the draft. Specifically, we want to use a draft that's already been vetted by a municipality that our attorney thinks was vetted in a good way. Otherwise, they're going to send us a draft, and then you're going to have to send back 25 changes. And it's just shorthand to them. You find it, I would tell them, hold off for a month, Niall. We want to talk to you about the draft first. And then if you guys are comfortable with the Holliston draft, which is a pretty standard Verizon renewal, I sent you a copy, I believe.
Yeah.
We tell them we want to use that as a starting place. Otherwise, that way they're going to make like 10, 15 little changes they know the municipalities like. You can imagine if you don't do that, you're going to get their boilerplate, which is everything they want, all their way. and then you have to like fight against it. I don't even want to see it. So that's one. Have a friendly thing and say, this will help all of us. You make it sound like it's not, make it sound like it's mutually beneficial to them and to us to start with a draft that we like rather than what Niall's going to throw at us. Now, when having done it with Paul Train and John Harrington, in addition to the ones I mentioned, I'm almost done with, I did Woburn with them. I'm almost done with Melrose and Needham. I've done a lot with them in the last year. I tell them we go through the same thing each time. In order for us now, otherwise you're going to waste your time reading it, Bob, and like marking up 20 edits in the level playing field clause. Oh, we just tell them the Holliston, it's got to have the good level playing field clause. It's got to have, a few other, it's got to have the and I would tell them what we're looking for in terms of a financials to make it easy. I would, in this case, I would honestly tell them that that they should in the license continue the same funding to make it really easy and get this over with in a positive way that helps you have the exact same financial package that's already in the existing license to really cut to the chase. And the reason why I think we're in a position to do that up front is because in the existing license, they're paying 4% for the operational budget a year and 0.7% of gross revenues a year for capital. That's 4.7%. Comcast is at a total of 4.75% in terms of percentage payments. But Verizon capital is $16,500 a year. We're over 5 years, whereas Comcast capital is $10,000 a year over 10 years. So you could say, I'm saying to you, in my opinion, it's all subject to your feedback, guys. It's a team process. I'm not trying to impose my will. I'm just throwing it out here. All right. The capital from Verizon happens to be better than the fixed sum payments, is $16,500 a year. The Comcast is $10,000 a year. So we can say, without pointing out what the Comcast is, just tell them we want them to level fund what they're doing. If they were to just roll over what they're doing into a new license in terms of the financial, it would be more than Comcast. Now, I think they will, of course, say our priority is to have a level playing field and not do that much more than Comcast. And our argument is, the reason Comcast pays a little bit less in capital is because they agreed to a longer term license. That's the Comcast approach. They say, well, we're doing 10 years, they're doing 5 years. The extra 5 years is worth a lot more than the extra. So we tell Verizon in reverse, you're doing a shorter license, so you should agree to the level fund your current capital payments. I had a few other procedural tidbits I would tell them at an initial meeting before they send us a draft. If this is true, let the draft show that you want to continue the remote video origination sites that you have under the current license. Everything that we negotiate with them, you have to say at an introductory meeting, is subject to Board of Selectmen review down the road. And then a timetable. We want to have the draft like 7 to 8 months before license expiration. You could go for, I think it's better to lose a month or two and get the kind of draft we want than get the first draft. And the other miscellaneous, that's basically it. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Bill, would
All
you
right.
be sending them a list of,
I don't think we, of course, also I left out that the license has to have a language about continuing to provide a PEG high definition channel. Do they provide you a high definition channel?
They do, but, and I'm not, Kevin, can you help us? Do we put out stuff on, for Verizon on an HD channel? I know we have the option in the license.
The education channel is an HD channel for Verizon
Thank you.
only.
Thank you very much.
How does that work? Because everyone's starting this and I'm just like learning. And operationally, does it work okay?
Yeah, we haven't had any issues.
That Niall, who helps you with that? Niall or the other guy, Brian? Somebody else?
No, Bill, no, they wouldn't be involved at the operational level at all.
All right. Well, Niall sends out an operational guy. I think his name is Brian Wilson.
It's already been hooked up in the previous license.
I know. All right, I know. I hear you. I was just wondering if if it's smoothly operating. Thank you, Kevin. That's good.
Yeah.
So you always mention that at an introductory meeting. Tom, your question's a great question in terms of should we have a list? I mean, the answer is yes, but it should be short and sweet, like the 4 biggies, not all the little things. Because Bob is like ready to be a law professor, and he's going to write like a 3-page memo with 25 like little verbiage things that are weird in their existing license that no one ever pays. Unfortunately, no, they don't matter that much. But I say don't do all that. Don't give them a list of 15. Give them a list of like the 4 big things: the money, the HD PEG channel, the level playing field clause, your video, and they will not bat an eyelash. They will totally respect that. Have that very short list at that first meeting, and then say, to cover ourselves so we can all pick away at the language later, just say, of course, we'll get into the verbiage and the details later rather than talk about all that now.
I have one more question. I just want to get out of the way. Has Verizon agreed to a 10-year license anywhere yet?
Not in over 6 years.
No. Okay.
They used to. They used to.
Yeah.
That, by the way, you should put on your list. Thank you for reminding me, Tom. Because I tend to forget about it because I just assume they're going to be 5-year. You should always ask for the 10-year. I hope I don't forget that.
Right. Bill,
no,
I'm going to ask.
That's big. You have to ask for the 10-year, even though they're going to reject it. That makes them.
In order for me and all of us to be able to see this thought you have in a more concrete fashion, even though it's going to cost us a little bit of money, I'm going to ask you to, I'm sure you must have this in existence someplace. I'm going to ask you to send us a draft letter of what such a letter to them might look like. You know how I am about.
I don't have a draft.
You don't have one.
Right. I don't have a draft letter on that because I usually just tell them that at the first meeting.
Okay. I would like you to create one.
Right.
And send it to us ASAP.
All right.
Because I'd like to see what that letter, such a letter might look like.
Like a draft email to Niall and Pamela?
No. Yeah. You're not going to send it to them.
No. Send it to you. But
Yes.
I'm just trying to understand a draft as if it would come from you.
Right.
To go to Niall.
If that's what we as a committee agree, if that's the direction we want to go, then I'd like to see what it would look like. And I think it would help our understanding of what you're proposing.
All right. I definitely cannot do it today, though. I'm telling you.
No. I should have asked you to do that prior to this meeting, but it just occurred to me. I'm sorry.
Right.
Okay.
You might want to tell Niall, just with a 1-line email. Niall, I know we were hoping for the license in May, but could you please hold off a little bit until we internally discuss whether to give you some specifics that we want to see included in it, like 1-2 sentences. Just ask him to hold off
Yeah,
until.
okay, I hear you,
All
but
right.
are you done with your proposal? to
Yes.
us still? Okay,
Yes.
all right, feel free to stay on for a bit. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'd like to get an estimate of time when Bill might have the details that, and when they'll be sent to Verizon. I mean, we don't want to wait
Well-
too long to do that.
No, two things. First of all, Bill he can't do the proposed or the draft letter that we might send. He can't do it today. He's gonna try to get it done in a couple of days.
Yeah.
Bill, okay, and I will, and then if we agree to this procedure, I will call and write Niall Connors, the Verizon rep, and ask him to postpone sending the draft pending our communication with him.
I understand that, but I'm asking, when would we have that communication? We don't want to wait too long.
You mean communication from Niall or Bill?
From Bill, with the things that we'd like to see included to cut to
Right.
the chase.
Well,
Bill, when do you think you can get it to us?
well, I don't think we should put in the communication all the specifics. I think what we should put in the communication is that we want to have a face-to-face Zoom with them, and we'll give them some of the specifics at that Zoom.
Okay.
Because it's such a meeting, we'll see how they react.
And do it ASAP, though. We'll have to suggest.
Yeah, Bob, you might just say to him, Niles, could you hold off on sending us any draft until we have an initial Zoom meeting, which we'd like to
Okay.
schedule now with you and Pam, or with you and your counsel.
Right. Hold on a second.
That's all we need.
Hold on a
get-
second.
Like 2 weeks from now, a meeting. And then before that meeting, I'll have you like a little list. I already told you what the whole list is going to be.
I understand, but I've scribbled some notes here, Bill, but I would like something a little bit more formal and thought out
Okay,
as to what's coming, what's in your mind, so that
Right.
we can evaluate it and make a decision,
right.
okay?
The main thing you have to evaluate, and you don't have to have this ready by the first meeting with them. I mean, I was saying to tell them that we want to have just roll over the existing financials. Because one, it'll, when they hear level funding, we just say, we want you to keep doing what you're doing now. They like that because it's level. We like it because it happens to be a bit more than Comcast is paying. So I think that, the big decision is whether you guys will be ready or agree with that approach. Like some towns just come in asking for more. Whatever they have now, they want to increase it. But I think since what you have now is already a little more than Comcast, I would just roll it over. So that's one of your decision points. You may want to discuss that internally after I get off.
Right, yeah. Oh, okay. I think I understand what you've got in mind. I would like you to put a draft, as I've asked, together of what such an email to Niall might look like. And then if we decide to go in that direction, I think we need to evaluate it by seeing your words.
Can you, if it's a short and sweet one, can I just do a short and sweet draft email, Bob? I could probably have that by the end of the day.
That's fine.
I
But
like short and sweet. I don't want to give them too much
Bill, I'm
info.
trying to answer your question.
Yeah,
That's fine, but I would like you to also include, perhaps in a separate email, a list of what you think needs to be our top 4 or 5 items.
okay,
And we can keep that separate from the email we send to them. But in order for me to evaluate whether this is a good thing to do or not, I
Right.
need to see the whole picture. And
All
I
right.
need to see it a little more concretely than we've discussed
All right.
at
All right.
present.
I mean, there
Okay.
aren't that many big things on renewals. You know, it's the annual funding, the capital
Bill,
funding.
let's not do it. We've already done it.
Okay.
Tom, you've got a question.
Yeah, the way I understand what Bill was saying is what's in the current Verizon is the simple approach that's beneficial to the town. Is that what you're proposing, that maybe you could ask them to?
That's
follow?
basically it. But
Yeah.
I say, let them give us the draft, because if we do the draft, they're worse than Comcast. If when the town provides the draft, they have like nightmares that the towns are putting in like 20 different things that
Right.
they hate, and they have such a bureaucracy about reviewing town drafts. If they do the draft, they'll be more confident. It'll come a lot faster. And if we tell them to base it on something that has been done by a recent municipality, by Bill August, like Holliston, we'll get a good starting point.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean we have to accept everything in there. We won't. It'll be a good
Right.
starting point.
Okay.
All
Does that
right,
answer
so
your
I'll throw
question,
something
Tom?
together on that.
All
Thanks,
right.
Bill.
Tom, does that answer your question?
Yeah, do we need to make a motion to have Bill proceed?
You know, we can do that. I mean, I just kind of did it as chair, but if you want
I
to take a
know,
vote,
I don't think we need to, I don't think we need to vote for this. We're just asking for advice from our attorney.
right.
So,
Walter, do you have any questions before Bill goes?
no, I think Bill's ideas, I happen to like Bill's idea.
I
So,
also,
yeah, for me, it's a matter of, I don't, cutting to the chase and dealing with just the things that will be deal breakers. That's it. That's all I'm interested in. I'm not interested in the minutia.
Okay.
I think it's a
All
good
right,
first step. Yeah.
All right, I don't have any further questions. Bill, I think we can probably chat about this and I'll get back to you with
Great.
what our decision is. And then we've got some other business to take care of here as well.
Well, our decision is to have him make draft.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be short and sweet, just to
Yeah,
get them
right.
Short
to
and
have a
sweet.
meeting with us. Okay, good.
Okay, good.
All right.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks,
Thanks, Bill.
guys.
Thank
Take
you,
it easy. Be careful
care.
out there. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, Bill, are you leaving? There you go. Yeah. Okay. Guys, what do you think?
What's that?
Yeah, what do you think?
Personally, I like what I heard.
I like Bill's approach, keep it
Yep.
simple. I mean, unless there's something that's not agreeable in the old contract that you want to make note of with us. I mean,
Well, I could rewrite that thing 8 ways to Sunday.
I understand. That's what we
but-
want to avoid.
Yeah,
But given what we did, what we had to go through with Comcast, I don't want to go through that again. And of
Right.
course, we don't even have the time to go through that again because it's a little over a year before it expires, which I know we can extend and so forth, but I don't like doing that myself. We've done it before once back in 2011. We had to extend with Comcast for 1 year. And I was very uncomfortable with it, but be that as it may. All right, so
well,
we're gonna get a couple of things from Bill.
right.
Go ahead, Walter.
My perspective is that unless, the 3 to 5 things that are key for us, financials, etc., unless there's something else that would be adverse to the town, not to whatever,
Right.
just to the town.
Yeah.
Then the language, I have no interest in dealing with the language.
Right.
Yeah.
One thing I would like to do is check in with Jose to make sure, because there's a 0.05 difference in the gross annual revenues, because we have Verizon has 4% gross annual revenues. They give us 0.7 of gross annual revenues, so that's 4.7, which is not quite equal to 4.75 for Comcast. But as Bill pointed out, Verizon gives us 16.5 for capital per year for 5 years. And Comcast gives us 10 per year for 10 years. So I want to make sure that Jose sees it as a wash. You know, as being at least equal, if not better than. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And we don't have to have that input before we move further, just yet.
yeah.
So I just want to, Jose is away right now, so I want to let him finish his vacation, and I'll write him an email and ask him to get to us.
The numbers speak for themselves unless there's something I'm missing.
Right, no, that's why when Bill proposed this to me, I said, you know, this is worth looking into, but I didn't want to, nor could I take that upon myself to make that decision. I wanted us as a committee to be informed and you know, work as a team as we have in the past. So you're okay with this this approach, guys, right now?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I am too. I think we need to rely a little bit more on the lawyer's guidance than we have in the.
Well, I have heard you in the past, Tom, and I'm hearing you now. If there's a simpler way to do it, the KISS method, as you say,
Right.
I'm all for it, as long as we keep in mind what Walter says, what's best for the town.
Yeah, when I look at some of the objections that we've come up, I have to ask a question: how crucial is this? How is it going to, like Walter says, hurt the people of the town? And if it's not something that we have to worry about, it's not worth bringing up.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, but.
I agree with you, Tom.
Can I ask you, should I request a copy of the current printout of the Verizon current contract?
Well, Tom, as I mentioned to you, for any of you, if you want a copy of A, B, or C, just let me know.
Okay.
I will contact Tracy. You've already mentioned you want it. I'm going to call Tracy when we get done here.
Yeah.
Ask her to run off a printed copy of the
Current contract.
current Verizon contract. And Walter, do you want one?
Well, could she send me? Can I get it digitally? Because I need to print it much bigger than.
Well, first of all, I think I sent you one,
We all have that already, I believe.
but
Yeah, but
I can send it again. I can,
Yeah.
hang on, let me write a note.
Yeah,
Easy
well,
enough to send.
it's just like this morning. I pressed the wrong button. I lost all my email. You know, I have a
Okay.
problem once in a while
Right,
in looking at things, and until I get a computer keyboard that's big enough for me to.
right.
be
I
comfortable with.
understand. Yeah, I'll take care of that, Walter. I'll resend it and you'll have it. You'll be able to
And
expand it.
I'll print it myself. I'll print it myself.
Well, okay, here's another thing, Walter. I was talking to Tom at some point. I think I've spoken to you about it before as well. As we print things at home, I mean, that stuff adds up.
Yeah, I got to ream paper from
You
the
got to
town.
read paper. Okay. So
I'm fine.
all right. Occasionally, when you feel that you need to be have your paper supply restored, you know, let me know. I'll speak to Tracy, and you'll be able to
Yeah.
get.
Oh, they were very helpful.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's I love calling Tracy. She's always very, very helpful in getting us what we need. Okay,
Yeah.
so are we all set with that one, guys?
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, all right. Can we go back to the beginning of the agenda? And that was reorganization. I forgot that we had dealt with that back in January. I'm more than happy to reconsider, you know, realigning our positions if that's what you would like to do. What is your pleasure?
I thought in January we took care of this.
Yeah, we did.
So just leave it
Yeah,
the way it
I
is.
don't suggest any changes at this time.
No.
Okay, Tom, you okay with the
I am,
negotiating subcommittee?
yeah, and I'm
Okay.
willing to help you with the, you know, as the vice chair, I'll do what I can to take a little load off of you when you need it, okay?
And thank you very much. And when I need it, I will give you a buzz.
All right, good.
Okay, the next item is the approval of the minutes from January 3rd, which was our last full meeting.
Right.
Anyone have any questions?
No.
Do you want me to call that up
Yeah.
to look at it, or
No,
have you looked at it?
No, I think
No.
we had a copy of that, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Okay.
Is there a second? Any
Second.
further discussion? All those in favor? Oh, we have to do, I think let's do a roll call. Tom,
Aye.
Walter,
Aye.
Bob, aye, we're all set. Okay, so those were approved, and we've gone over 3 and 4. All right, the only other thing I've got left is an update on the LeBaron situation. As you know, I've sent you copies of emails. Hang on a second. Oh, Fred. All right. Guys, can you hold on a second? Fred's calling, and I've got to chat with him for a second.
Yeah. I assume he's muted.
Yes, I have, Walter.
Good.
I'm calling Fred now.
I'm glad I don't have to look myself in the camera too much.
I had called him prior to our meeting and couldn't get an answer. As you know, I had sent an email as a reminder this morning. And I don't know whether he's lost the link or what. Kevin, is it possible for you to resend Fred Beal the link for this meeting?
Yeah, I can do that right now.
Great, thank you. Okay, guys, the last night, LeBaron, as you know, getting Verizon to complete the work down there has been problematic. Even they would admit that. To try to make a very long story shorter, one of the jobs that needed to be done was the installation of what's called micro ducting in building number 90 down there. I guess it's one of the multi-units, which they hadn't done. And the developer project manager had recently told me, look, we're about ready to put insulation and wallboard in, and we have no wiring in there, no way to have wiring. So I got on the horn to various Verizon folks, and the Verizon people were out there yesterday, and that building, which I am told is the only building that needed that, has been done. Hooray, hooray, let's have a glass of champagne. So I assume now that when Verizon sends their wiring crew out to do that building and other unwired locations, which is Hybrid Lane, Ironwood Lane, and a number of others, that all of the infrastructure will be in there so that they can do the wiring and get it done. That's my assumption right now. The other element that really doesn't have to do with our particular committee, but is important to know, is as we were walking the grounds back in July and November with the Verizon engineers, the project manager, Mike OJ, brought up the other issue, and that is the conduit connections from Precinct Street down Fern Ave, which used to be the entrance to the old gravel pit, down Fern Ave, and then into the backside of the development. And it's the conduit has just been laying there. And apparently there was some changes that needed to be made, some re-engineering, which wasn't getting done. I understand it either has now been completed or is about to be. And I'm supposed to get an email from a Verizon engineer today to give me a date certain when they're going to be there to do that project. Again, has nothing really to do with us, but the developer kind of throws those issues all in together, and I don't blame them because they've been waiting a good long time. Tom?
I'm just curious, I'm not familiar with the responsibilities of the cable companies as far as wiring go. Aren't they supposed to just have to get the wire into the house and the rest could be the responsibility to wire the house properly by the contractor?
Well, I think what's inside the walls of the house should have been taken care of during construction. And I assume that everything is, except for this building 90, which
No, but I
needed.
mean, my question, are they responsible for interior wiring when a house is being built?
Well, I would think that they are, because I've seen a copy of the contract
Yeah.
for one of those houses, and it mentions that the owner would have, excuse me, an option for Comcast or Verizon.
Mhm.
So when the developer says, you know, you've got these options, I would assume the responsibility is on the developer to make sure that once the Verizon wire comes into the house, you can have a Verizon option. So I don't know a for certain answer to your question, Tom, but I believe that's the case.
Hmm.
So this last connection here to the cell tower is either about to be completed or they need to complete the engineering and then the construction. But it looks like it's getting closer and closer to being done. And the reason it's so important, I have to give our fire chief terrific kudos for stepping in here. He let us know that he was not happy that his equipment and men would have to go twice as far from the Fern Ave entrance off of Precinct. Instead of going in there, and they can't go in because the road isn't complete and their equipment would bottom out. Now they have to go down Precinct, take a right on Rhode Island Road and come in. Some might call it the back way, but for right now, it's really the only entrance. And if they were to have an emergency, it's twice the distance, the chief told me, to get to that existing entrance than using the Fern Ave. So it's important for a couple of reasons. First of all, for the Verizon connection to the cell tower to take place, which is really between the town, the developer, and Verizon, and not us. But because I was there walking around in, I think it was July and maybe September and November, and the project manager said, hey, what about this connection? You know, I've been throwing that stuff into the emails and saying, hey, you know, what about this as well? And it looks like maybe that's coming to fruition. That's all I know at this point. But I did want to update you because there is a cable TV connection issue involved at LeBaron, and it looks like they're going to be able to come in there and do the wiring soon. When? I don't know. But I wanted to update you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? Any other questions?
No,
All right. Well, gentlemen, I think unless you've got anything else that you want to bring up, I think we're good. I think we're done.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, I suppose we'll be getting something from Bill pretty soon, and then you'll
Yes,
pipe it out to us or whatever.
right, indeed. Yep. Sounds good.
Okay.
and then
Okay.
we can react to that back to you. by
Exactly,
email. Okay,
exactly. Yep.
all right.
Okay, super. Well,
Make a motion to adjourn?
we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
No, we've already got one, so yours is a second.
I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
All
I'll
right.
second it. Yeah.
All right, any further discussion? Gentlemen, thank you very much. And actually,
No,
before we
Roll
go,
call. Roll call.
oh, thank you. On the motion to adjourn, actually, before I ask for that roll call, I want to say one thing. Jose is away on a well-deserved vacation. Kevin is filling in, and Kevin, I want to thank you very much. You've been highly responsive to everything that I've needed. And I appreciate your help a great deal.
Thank you. I'm happy to help.
I know you are, and thank you very much. Okay, now to the motion. We have no discussion. Walter, your vote?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Bob? Aye. Gentlemen, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.